Welcome back to Back to the Future DVD commentary. This is episode 2. We're all basically the same crew. I'm Mike.
JD.
Dennis.
Andy.
Eric.
Pete.
Randy.
And Pete directed this episode.
It's true.
Yay.
So talk about this choice. What is it? How did you make this choice?
I think the biggest problem with episode 2 was hitting the bar that was set with episode 1. So
That's true.
We had I think we chose pace and just kind of, trying to give people a more action-packed experience.
Yeah,
now that we've established the world.
2 is a little bit more nonstop suspense. 2 in some ways, I don't know, every episode was difficult to design for one reason or another. 2 in some ways was the biggest design challenge, I think, partly because what 1 ended up being what rated a bunch of what we originally had planned for 2. So we basically took what we had planned for 1 and 2 and ultimately put it all into 1. And when we started designing episode 2, we kind of had no idea of what.
Yeah, we knew we suddenly realized we had a title. We knew we were going to put Kid Tannen in jail by the end of this episode, and at the end everything would go horribly wrong. But it was sort of like, okay, and now what?
And ultimately we realized that Tannen was a big enough villain that we could build an entire episode around just the problem of dealing with him and the threat he represents to Marty's future.
I'll be fine until you get back. You got it, Doc.
This is one of the... We were real happy when we realized, hey, we could just send Marty back to the first episode to solve his problem here. Because we had a few... One of the many Back to the Future little touchstones we wanted to get was Marty being in a scene with himself, as in the second movie. And since this is the second episode, it seemed like a good place for it. So we really wanted to get him in a place where he would have to hide from himself. And we were happy we were actually able to pull it off.
Oh, come on, Yesterday, Marty. Stop talking and get moving.
Calling himself Yesterday, Marty. I'm sorry.
I always prefer day old Marty.
You get a good discount that way.
Yeah. And there's the dog.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to play fetch with Einstein?
Except for Mike.
It's because Einstein growls at Mike.
Yeah. But yes, this is exactly the kind of thing we figured would happen in the movie, having one Marty on one side of a tree and a Marty on another side of a tree.
But this took a lot of finesse to get this believable.
Get this mangy animal away from me!
Come on, Einstein. Get away from the nice lady.
My shoes!
Einstein, no. Now, to get into that courthouse and grab Artie before Tannen's guys.
Usually fades out at dramatically convenient times.
Yeah. All of that.
We missed a step here. Oh well.
What happened then?
You gotta come with me.
We did a dramatic cut.
Yes.
No time to explain, Gran.
This commentary has been
Just
edited
promise
for
me
time.
Artie McFly.
But we have not really talked about Artie McFly and our voice actor Summers, Michael Summers, who also I have no idea what he looks like, but he does a marvelous job with the character.
Yeah. Curiously, Artie ended up more like George than George did, and that was that was by design. We figure grown-up, mellow George doesn't quite have as many of the tics that teenage George did, and whereas young Artie is definitely...
Artie's pretty neurotic.
Artie's pretty neurotic.
Oh, I've been better.
And he has good reason to be neurotic.
Yes, because he's working for Kid, who's a bit of a jerk.
We got business to discuss.
Get our first glimpse of Trixie Trotter, who turned out to be much more important later.
You too, Miss Trotter.
Yeah, we're all happy as clams.
Thanks for being coy about Trixie, even though we're in the commentary and presumably
Yes.
everyone's played the story by now.
Yeah, well, maybe
Just
they
in case.
haven't.
Don't
Maybe they're
foreshadow
playing
Marty's big
episode
love
one
scene with Trixie Trotter.
How many people get chloroformed in this series?
Oh, we're just all over the place. We're knocking people out right and left.
Hopefully not the player.
We got Kid's goons. We should talk a few minutes about Kids Goons.
Maybe and see.
Yeah, very B and C.
Yeah.
We were
Nice.
kind of modeling them after the three goons that Biff always has hanging out, or Griff has hanging out with them. They kind of all drifted away from their original actor types.
And Billy Zane was not available, unfortunately,
Yeah.
to voice any of them.
We had one guy named Zane, and he's the guy who doesn't look anything like Billy Zane. And
Except that he's the best looking of the three.
Someone else is about to get chloroform.
Yeah.
let this be you may think chloroforming people is fun, kids, but it's just not a good.
He's been dipping into the inventory.
Inventory.
Now, there was initially a much more involved puzzle that involved communicating with Artie, while Artie was half in and half out of his chloroform-induced stupor. But another one of those things that got streamlined out.
Yeah. Briefly, the goons were going to be very much like the Three Stooges, and then we
In your
decided not to do that either. We decided to make them a little more formidable.
But not too formidable. Yes.
There's the ever-present picture.
Yes, Marty conveniently has all kinds of pictures in his wallet that only come out when they're narratively relevant.
Spinning. Come on, Artie. Let's get out of here before these
Yeah.
Your favorite thing to do.
They were gonna kill me.
Chloroform and ropes.
Ropes, yeah.
The theme of this game.
Funny guy.
So how Marty drags Artie 2 miles to the DeLorean is one of those questions that's never answered.
I still maintain he dragged him outside on the car.
That was one of our favorite bits, is actually getting to show the climax of the first episode happening again. And poor Danny. Danny's already got one. For the second time, the DeLorean has given him the slip, and now for the third time, the DeLorean's given him
Yes,
the
now
slip.
he's going to sink into hopeless alcoholism.
It's not like based on anyone you guys knew in high school or something.
No.
Son of a...
I don't know why we actually bothered cutting off the Son of Us, since we were kind of hitting that PG rating all the time.
Tie me up.
One of the discussions we had at least 80 times was what are we going to do with Artie now that he's in the car with us? And
Yeah.
we
How did you
kept
fit
coming
them together on that
to
little tiny
another.
sheet?
Well,
And I'm never.
Yeah, we, because
I don't even remember what. We
well, the
finally
biggest
did.
issue was we briefly were talking about actually dragging him to 1986
That's
temporarily
right,
and
that's right.
unconscious, and we had huge temporal discussions about how if Artie's in the
And
future,
he becomes a
there can't
break
be.
dancer. And
Well,
all
there,
kinds of
if Artie goes with Marty into the future, there can't be a Marty anymore because Marty disappeared from the timeline.
Oh, we can't start debating this stuff now.
That's why I'm really happy
Suffice to
we're done
say-
making a time travel game.
Yeah,
because
time travel hurts.
that's
Yeah.
my brain.
Yeah. So we just drop him off at the side of the road.
Much respect for Bob Gale and Zemeckis, both
Yeah.
being able to stand doing this for multiple years with
Yeah.
time travel and plots.
And
stuff.
yeah, every time we had a time travel conundrum question and we brought it up with Bob Gale, he would dive in with gusto. And yeah,
And tell us why we were wrong. and we'd get it fixed. Yay, flames.
and here we are back in.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing, everyone.
Good night. Certainly, this is the shortest series we've ever
Except
done.
that the nuclear war has left the sky permanently mustard colored.
Oh my God, Dad.
Yeah, I remember we only. I think we chose to only show one arm there, but I think his actual pose, like George, was wrecked.
His other arm is a robot arm.
What was up with that? We modeled the whole character and made a wheelchair, and we hardly ever see him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So were the Biff brothers Bob's idea?
There was originally it was just Biff who was going to come and light out after Marty, and yes, Bob Gale said, "Well, you know, if
We should have
Kid Tannen's been
3 of
around all
them.
those-" No,
Here's
he
a
didn't say 3. He said 12.
Well, yes. And then we told him we couldn't put 12 people in our engine. And
But I'm really happy with this whole sequence, and I think it was.
It opened up an opportunity for our amazing concept artist Ryan Jones to draw 3 versions of Biff as gangsters in the 80s. He really went for it.
Yeah.
then we really felt we needed a solid breather in 1986 to show the consequences of how they'd screwed things up again.
Yeah, it kind of motivates the rest of the entire game, because you know what could happen.
And he's got the Joe Piscopo
gun.
gun. It shoots through schools.
Nice. Yeah, we might as well call out Ryan Jones for all of his
For
amazing work.
everything.
Yeah, at the beginning of the series, it was kind of what direction is the art style going to go? And I just remember him doing some early sketch, and everyone kind of saw it and were like, that's pretty much perfect.
Yeah, there was very little discussion
Yeah.
after he started sketching.
This kind of goes with the other running theme of Back to the Future. No real good comes from traveling back in time. You are just constantly messing things up.
I wonder how many different newspaper textures we made. Or Drew.
Yep.
Where is this picture?
All right, yeah, okay, now we're going to get to see the suit.
The suit.
Yeah.
Stash.
And the stash.
Yeah.
Marty McFly.
Why we didn't just leave him
mustache.
like this for the rest of the season, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think when
His
I first
nondescript
saw this,
features.
when I first saw the concepts, I didn't know the story yet. I just remember seeing it on like Ryan's computer or something like that. It was just Marty with the mustache. I was like, what?
What I like is how Edna immediately recognized him anyway.
No, she didn't.
Oh, didn't she?
She didn't. It took.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is. We actually.
Wow.
We actually forced the player to listen to the whole song.
Yeah.
And Randy.
Yep.
Mr. Brown.
If you haven't listened to the whole song, ask Edna to play the song for you.
Who said you were worthy?
The old gray mare?
Well,
Oh yeah. Silly little puzzle.
Yeah.
I like word puzzles. We don't do enough word puzzles because we have to translate them into other languages.
Yeah.
This was a key thing. We knew going into this episode, this would be the musical episode. And even though I didn't actually get to be lead design on this one, amusingly enough, everyone always says I'm going to be the guy to do a musical.
Yeah.
I think you all know what I'm talking about. Am I right? So let's Tricks Trotter.
Talk about the music.
Well, the music is okay. The original song's by Ron Lytle, although this is not one of the original songs. This is an actual public domain song.
Out of my way, kid. I got some sorrows to drown.
Oh.
Oh, poor Danny.
But we knew from an early point we wanted to have a saloon singer, so we needed songs.
So bad. He just takes some.
Hey, Toots. Any chance you could sing that can number? The guys really love the way it shows off your assets.
And he's a pig.
And Tannen is a pig.
It was a different time,
It was a different
that kind of thing was all right back then.
Bum.
But
All
yes,
right, what are we gonna hear
record
now?
swapping.
Melancholy Baby.
All right, also an
Not an
existing song.
But yes, we knew we wanted to have musical puzzle to manipulate Danny Parker's moods, and
And Rebecca Schweitzer turned out to be a very. No, this isn't Rebecca Schweitzer. This is Melissa Hutchinson. Sorry, Melissa Hutchinson turned out to be a very fine singer who has used to do musicals. I guess she hasn't in some time, but she was able to pull it out.
And happens to be the voice of Stinky from the Sam and Max series.
That's right. Very different voice.
Yeah.
Those of you astute listeners.
why we never got Stinky to sing is if I had only known.
Psychiatrist, because they thought I was seeing things. And worst of all,
And Danny Parker telling his tale of woe to Marty.
And he was really drunk when he recorded that.
Yeah.